Hello and welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name's Chad, and today I'm bringing you two things. One, this sweat box we're calling New Jersey at the moment. Been out here for 2 minutes and I'm already sweating like I owe Luciano money. But more importantly, and why you click the link here, is I'm gonna bring you a comparison test that literally nobody has ever asked for. So what cars are we comparing? That should be fairly obvious. My 2008 Volvo C30 and my 2015 Mustang GT with the performance pack. So what do we have here? Well, this is my 2008 Volvo C30. It started life as a relatively reasonable, small, easy to park, comfortable hatchback. Has a 2.5 liter 5-cylinder up front, manual 6-speed gearbox underneath it, driving the front wheels. But as our more loyal viewers will know, we did not exactly leave our little C30 stock. Now, the first modifications you notice when you walk up to the car, well, that's fairly easy. She's not exactly sitting on stock wheels or stock tires, which for many a Volvoist is a point of contention. I maintain the Koenig Renforms wrapped in Bridgestone Potenza RE71Rs looks much better than any offering Volvo can provide, and that include pegs. We also improved handling with a set of Bilstein B14 coilovers. We have a rear chassis brace. Now, we also modified the engine. She's making way more power than she did stock, roughly about 100 more horsepower. So we increased horsepower by effectively 50%. We have an Elevate cold air intake and an Elevate oversized upper intake pipe going into the turbo. We also have an upgraded front mount intercooler from Elevate and all requisite oversized piping. We have a 3-inch turbo back exhaust, and it's all being controlled via a Shark tune. What does that all mean? She gets up in shifts. Now we're moving around 3,200 pounds, and we're making about 325-ish horsepower at the crankshaft, and that makes for a really rough road. That makes for a really fun combination. She's lightweight, small, short wheelbase, so she's eminently chuckable. The one downside is, and the one modification I haven't gotten around to doing that this car really needs, especially on corner exit and launch situations, to any of those who saw our drag racing video last time, is a limited slip differential. Because this thing gets into corners really well, holds that line, and now these tires do grip a ton, so you really do kind of slingshot out of the corner. However, when these tires lose grip, you get a one-tire fire, and that's not good at all, especially if you're trying for hard acceleration. Problems with the C30? Well, like I mentioned before, a limited slip differential would go a very long way into making this pretty damn near the perfect daily driver. She's not exactly the most fuel efficient thing in the world, but I mean, do we really buy cars for the MPG? I mean, do you? Because I don't. The air conditioning in this car, well, right now it's working. Any minute though, it's going to stop working. But basically it's a design feature in with Volvo, where when you're kind of hammering on the car itself, the car turns off the air conditioning, because I guess the clutch packs and the AC condenser, they can wear out, yada yada yada. At any rate, on a warm, humid day like this, if you're gonna go for a spirited drive, be prepared to get a little sweaty if you go for an extended period of time. The brakes, they could be a little bigger. You do get a little bit of brake fade on the stock brakes. They do bring you to a halt, as I have just demonstrated, but that's another easily fixable problem, because you can just go to this car's brother, effectively, the S40 or the V50, the all-wheel drive variants, and get yourself a set of bigger discs, bigger calipers, and they're a direct bolt-on for this car. Simple, easy, OEM parts. Get yourself an upgraded set of rotors, upgraded pads, boom, budget brake kit, and again, what more could you really want? A car that stops, a car that goes, a car that's fun, takes corners. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But overall, this is a hugely fun, very, very affordable car. I mean, I paid $5,300 for this car, threw a bunch of mods on it, but a lot of which you don't necessarily have to do. The cold air intake doesn't make as much power as the stock intake, so boom, right there, you can save yourself a couple bucks. But really, you get a front mount intercooler for this, 3-inch turbo back exhaust, a really good tune, and you will have a very, very capable daily driver that you can have an absolute ton of fun with. However, there is another car in my stable of vehicles that literally nobody has ever asked I compare the Volvo to, and that is my Ford Mustang. Which begs the question, you have hot hatchback, 2-door sports car. And I don't want to hear it, the Mustang is now a sports car. Sure, it's a little on the heavy side compared to some Europeans, but not by much, not by much. And I mean, it's got, well, I'll tell you what, why don't I just talk about the Mustang from the Mustang? Okay. All right. Before we get into too much detail about the Mustang, let's get one or two things basically straight before we dive into it. The Mustang's a much newer car. It's a 2015, the Volvo's a 2008. So, number one, it hasn't had as much time to age. Number two, obviously the rampant progress of technology, more of it's in here than, say, the Volvo itself. Like, Mustang has launch control, it has line lock, even though that's not really a technological thing, nor useful on the street in any way, but damn it, it is one of the coolest features ever fitted to a modern car. The Mustang has a more modern, up-to-date, more contemporary, nicer interior. Like I said, the Volvo interior is not bad. The Mustang's just, it feels more in place with the times than the Volvo's does. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Again, the Volvo engine, 2.5 liter turbocharged 5-cylinder engine. The Mustang, 3 more cylinders and twice the displacement, no turbocharging. You can almost double the factory power in the Mustang, which puts you north of 800 at the crank, 800, without really touching the internals, which is insane to me. Now, the Volvo, you can get some pretty impressive power out of. You can get somewhere in the neighborhood of 420, 450-ish. That's really pushing it on stock internals. 420 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at, especially in a car that's damn near 800 pounds lighter than the Mustang, and you can really feel that. Now, turn in on the Volvo, because the car is so light, because we have such grippy tires, Mustang crap tires, something from China that I don't even know the name of, that if I had my new wheels here, would have already been replaced. Story for a different day. You can, but the Volvo, it's turn-in, that's one of the best cars on turn-in that I've ever really driven with a front-wheel drive platform. And that's saying something, because it doesn't really have anything special going on up front in the suspension. It's just good quality suspension. Again, we upgraded it with some coilovers and some better tires, all of that fun stuff. I'm telling you, those coilovers woke up the turn-in like no tomorrow. Whereas the Mustang, you really feel that way, and you really feel it on turn-in. On the flip side, the Mustang is much better under braking. Sure, it's much heavier, but it has absolutely massive 15-inch rotors and 6-pot calipers up front, 4-pot calipers in the rear, and they do a great job of bringing nearly 3,900 pounds of Mustang to a stop, significantly quicker than the Volvo. But it's all relative. The Mustang will get into a corner and out of the corner better than the Volvo will, thanks to its 373 rear end, limited slip differential, and, well, let's just say a mountain of a good old American torque slingshotting her out of the corners. However, the Volvo, with its, well, aftermarket suspension and better tires and lighter wheels, the wheels on the Mustang, they might be 19 inches, but they're heavy as hell and a pain in the rear end to clean. With all that, the Volvo has light nits on its side, and that means it has better cornering speeds than the Mustang. So it's all relative. Like on a road like we're on right now, that's kind of long and windy and not really many in the way of hairpins or things of that nature, the Mustang, it's just gonna leave the Volvo for dead. I mean, you saw in our trip to the drag strip, Mustang was a second quicker in the quarter mile than the C30 was, and I was driving the Mustang like a complete and utter moron. More on that in next week's video. But which one's better? That's a very, very difficult question to answer. They're two completely different vehicles. What car do I go to in the morning and I say, I'm gonna drive that today? Well, if I'm being honest, it's the Mustang of late. Like I said, it's a little bit nicer to beat. It has Bluetooth, it has a better stereo, it's just more modern. But that's to take absolutely nothing away from the Volvo, because the Volvo is an absolute riot to drive on back roads, especially the tight, twisty ones, where to have fun in the Mustang, you gotta be going pretty fast, and it's loud and it draws a lot of attention, and you're going really fast, so if you get it wrong, trees are a little less forgiving. Whereas in the Volvo, you can kind of have fun. I shouldn't say kind of, you can absolutely 100% have fun at less lethal speeds. You can have fun going the speed limit on the right road, and that's a huge thing for a car to have. Sure, it might not be the last word in speed, but you don't really need the last word in speed on a normal road in normal conditions. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed making it. Both of these cars are epic fun in different ways. If you like the video, smash that like button, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you get all of Shifting Lanes' content as we release it. If you want to follow us on social media, it's at Shifting Lanes. Me personally, I'm at Kennedy83. Really enjoy talking to some of the fans out there. That is one thing I never thought in a million years I would ever have, is fans. But talking to you guys, talking through your projects, listening to seeing what you guys are doing out there, super fun. If you got a cool project that you want to talk about, if you need help, I will do my best to help you out, and I'd love to see what your project is at. I think that's super, super cool. If you want to help support the channel, right below me there's a link to our Teespring page. Every dollar we make from selling shirts, cell phone cases, mugs, stickers, yada, and the lot, we put right back into creating content for you guys. Mustang versus C30 may seem odd to compare the cars. They are fun in different ways, but at the end of it, they're both really awesome vehicles. As for this video, well, I will catch you next time, guys.